Hey, welcome to the communication, leadership, and team training. And now I want to talk a little bit about one part of the training, which is entirely optional. You don't have to do this, but it's like the most valuable skill you can ever learn. And there is no top to this. And I think I've done this like quite a lot of times, but I'm still thinking I'm chicken. So there is so much about this. And what it is about is talking and selling and marketing something to people, but really addressing people and asking questions to people in public you don't know. And of course you can do this anytime, anywhere, any place, and so on. And you can use it for all kinds of purposes. It's basically the same kind of thing, like you are in a bar, you see a person you find attractive, and just go there and start a conversation. That's like the same thing. But the real training is you go out there in public, and that's why it's called surveying. You go out and ask people questions, and ask them something like, hey, what do you think of climate change? Would you support an organization who's doing climate change? Would you follow us on social media? Would. You are asking questions, about it, getting information from them, for example. Like you have a project in the CLTD, you want to find out what your customer base is actually thinking. So you have to talk to them, and not only with people who who might be just saying what you want. No, you want to find out with people in real life. And now, why is this training really so special? Nowadays, people don't like to do this kind of thing anymore. I'm studying business psychology here, was in a project, and I suggested, let's go out and find what is the status of the knowledge about this project in the campus. Let's go and ask just 100 people we don't know and ask them the question. And the students were absolutely scared, rejected this overall that we are going to do this. Then I did it myself. And, I have maybe thousands of people already asked just on the street. I started this some years ago, really, when I had some exercises and some seminars and so on. But I founded a startup, and I had the product, and we had too much of the product. So I said, hey, it's a good thing. I just go out and give this to people. And it was like the best product on the market. So I was like, it was really cool, best product on the market. And I wanted to give it to people for free. They could test it, nothing required. So I went out, and especially here in this area, I went out and asked the question, can I donate something to you? Can I give you something for free? It was basically the question. Kann ich Ihnen was schenken? It's a German phrase, And I went out, and suddenly I was like absolutely flabbergasted, because like everybody rejected it. So it's like 95% plus of people on the street totally rejected it. There was nothing they should be doing. There no catch, anything. It was really the best product. I was well dressed and so on. Total rejection. I was like, what's going on here, really? It's like, and in the beginning, I was like really feeling bad. Well, something is wrong here. And then I made this more. But, imagine you do this 100 times. And, hey, people just, on such a question, people reject you. So it's a very, very powerful training to go out and just get 100 times rejected. Because, you're getting all these no's, and suddenly you feel, oh, I'm still alive. It's one of the main things why we fear rejection is we are social animals. So that part of the thing is you're training yourself in, you get no's, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just like that person said no to what you offer or what you did. It's not about you personally or so on. Not because it's like, that's the best product. What they can see isn't really a problem. So it must be around them. That's a big learning. You learn that people say no to you for all kinds of reasons. Imagine you would be dating, and you go out, and there's a nice, nice person you would be dating with, and you just go and say, hey, do you want to date with me? And that person is maybe in 90+% of the cases, you get a no. Why? Because that person is having a relationship, not interested. Is single but doesn't want to have a relationship. So they're not even on the market. And then they are like looking at you and making a very short decision and saying also no. But really the core thing is that you can learn in a way really to be more effective. And they are like some techniques, sort of. First of all, it's like your mental state is very important. But then there's like also some technique and some good questions in the beginning. Like, for example, I usually, when I want to have a yes, I start with something like, can I ask you a question? Yeah? Or, excuse me, may I ask you something? Something like this, because then you get a yes. If that person says no, they weren't even available to have a conversation. So like, it wasn't about you anyway. They just don't want to talk. They don't have any time. They are distracted, whatever. So one thing. Then the next thing I ask also, like usually a question about, for example, hey, do you know something? Are you aware of climate change? Or have you heard of climate change? You want to have questions where the person is answering with a yes, because that's a very important psychological effect, what you are tuning there, that people said yes to you. Like if they say yes to you like 2 or 3 times, they are more inclined to give you yes to your other questions. And then you can say, oh yeah, I'm working on this project and I want to ask you some questions about, or, we are looking for followers. Would you support this? And it's really like you're training and looking at how effective am I going to be? And like go to different audiences. If I go to like the university, people are much more inclined there. If I say, hey, I'm studying, I usually I'm not like looking like a typical student, but I'm telling them something out. Hey, I'm studying here as well. So we have like a relationship, because they usually think, who is this guy, If you are looking like a student and you are like doing this in your university, well, you already have sort of relationship, But I say, hey, I'm doing my bachelor thesis on this CO2 kind of thing. And then, okay. And then start having conversations, with people you don't know, and you have like the intention, for example, of they should be following you. They should be doing a survey, where you enroll them to do this online. Or you can ask them, hey, do you want to join the force? Do you want to join the project? Do you want to support such a cause or any cause? It doesn't have to be this one. And these kind of things. So, very, very valuable skill. Of course, this is in the CLTD. We train you this, like this video. There will be like a little bit more questions around this. But it's really like one of the coolest things you can do. If you learn this, and it's so valuable. And I'm still, I have probably asked thousands of people, really on the street or anything. I'm like this. I'm on a party and somebody wants to get to know somebody. I'm just like going there and, excuse me, can I ask you a question? Okay, yeah, that person over there, like really would like to talk to you. I have, that's a skill I've learned, because I'm like, somebody says no to me, it's like, okay, thank you. It's like the good salesperson is just starting with a no, really, if you have like an intention. But it's really a training, and there's no top of it. If I haven't done this for quite some time, I'm just going out and doing it again, And I'm also like, sometimes I say, today I'm going to ask, several people to join a channel. And then it's like, I don't do it. It's always requires something really, but it's a wonderful training for you, for your self-esteem, for being with people. It's absolutely fantastic. So that's really like, we call it survey, but it's really like sales and marketing out on the street. And if you master these kind of skills, they are so valuable, you can use them your whole life. And to use like being self-employed, on the job, getting paid really well if you master these kind of skills, because most other people don't want to do it. Thank you very much for watching. Please follow the channel.